URC Week 11, folks. Cardiff hosting Leinster. Figured I'd get up on this Sunday morning here in NZ and watch a wee bit of rugby, and sure enough, good crowd in Cardiff. They seem to be really getting behind this Cardiff side, which is really pleasing to see. And they were treated to a pretty good first half, especially in the final 10 minutes from their boys. Although second half was more Leinster. We'll go through some of the key events and a few of the stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts on this one. But like I said, I was enjoying seeing the good crowd get behind their boys. They had a bunch of initial possession, but went down 2 tries pretty early. I mean, the first one, Jenkins charged down. I think it was Clarkson, popped it to Russell. Bam! Leinster on the board, having not really had much of the ball in the first few minutes. Tamani goes off injured for Cardiff, and then it gets worse when Max Deegan gets a try, gets better from a Leinster point of view. Heap of pressure, a bunch of advantages. They had like a line-out maul that had a tap and go from the first penalty, that had another tap and go, another advantage, and eventually Max Deegan's able to kind of power and reach over. So 12 points to nil. This is looking like it might be a pretty tough day at the office for Cardiff, but to their credit, man, they still play some attacking rugby. They love spinning it wide. They love putting these little dinking kicks through, which they couldn't really get on the end of, but they were trying it, and at least, keeping a bunch of the ball and, having a bit of territorial advantage. They did get on the board eventually through a penalty from De Beer, so it's 12 points to 3. He missed one and got one, basically, from the boot. And, the Leinster line speed was able to kind of counteract this quick Cardiff play, but the game kind of reached a balance point until the final kind of 5-10 minutes of that first half when Rhys Carey managed to get 2 tries. A bit of talk about him not making the Welsh squad, and some people say, he's good around the park, but he's not good enough at the scrum time. Other people say he's not fit enough, but I mean, he got 2 tries, which is, that's gold, isn't it? I mean, the first one when Cardiff boys could have opted for a 3, realistically, opted for touch, line out, and then a pass just through to a set play, man. Charging Rhys Carey, so he busts over, 10 points to 12, and then they get another one. Thomas Young went bloody close, just loses his footing after De Beer had made the initial line break. Lama gets a penalty conceded and a yellow card for kind of cynical play. 15v14 Cardiff tap it, few phases. Carey gets stopped the first time, but then has another shot about 3 phases later. Boomfa. Missed conversion, but 15-12 lead at halftime, which is not bad for Cardiff, given that they were 12-0 down after less than 10 minutes. So, yeah, not bad, man. I mean, Leinster still had more meters, 330 to 260, but Cardiff's had 57% possession. They've had 53% territory. Clean breaks is 6-7. It's been open rugby. Connors has made 11 tackles, and Aled Summerhill has had 3 clean breaks. So there's been plenty to like from the first half. The second half was such a different story. It was almost like a different game of rugby. Leinster just didn't give Cardiff the ball for basically, I want to say, half an hour. And they just didn't want to give their backs the ball at times. The forwards wanted tries. Like, if you wanted a game where props get lots of tries, this is the one. I mean, Leinster with 14 men, remember, they just start going through patient phases, edging closer to the Cardiff line. Eventually, Clarkson goes over. They give the try, miss the conversion. But after that, the TMO chimes in and says, actually, he's held up. So they go back for an advantage, which means Leinster go another 9 phases. This time it's Milne who goes over. So swap one prop for another. And they get the conversion. So it actually works out better for Leinster having the try chalked off. 19 points to 15. Leinster still more of the ball. Scrum move. The backs go close. The forwards get in there and finish it through Milne again. That's the bonus point on about the hour mark. 26 points to 15. A double for him. They get another try up front with McKee from 1 metre out. Makes it 33-15 on 68 minutes. It was honestly relentless. Cardiff just didn't have any ball. They didn't spend any time in Leinster's half. It was really just such a turnaround from the first half, which was a lot more, Cardiff having the ball, Leinster looking like they could score any time, kind of thing. Summerhill did get a consolation, which was good for his efforts throughout the game. Finally, on 74 minutes, they could have a chance to chase that that fourth try, but not to be for the Cardiff boys. Leinster were the ones pressing for that final try at the end of the game. So, man, remember how I said the possession was 57% Cardiff at halftime? It finishes 60-40 Leinster because the second half is 74-26, which is about as lopsided as you will ever see in a game. It's pretty rare that it's that lopsided. Territory is 56-44 in the second half as well, so the territory finishes 50-50. Run meters 357 to 500 to Leinster. Cardiff make 178 tackles to 117. They had a lot of defensive work to do in that second half. Clean breaks 10 to 7 is actually in Cardiff's favour. The wingers, man. Owen Lane had 3. Summerhill had 4. Thomas Young made 16 from 17 tackles, which is a great defensive shift, but yeah, no points to show for it. Leinster just really fronted up in the second half. Lama, despite the yellow card in his 100th game for the club, I think they said, he still managed 80 metres, a clean break, and 5 defenders beaten. Penny had 12 from 12 tackles, which is a big shift. Good to see Deegan get on the board, like I mentioned. But yeah, a game for the props and the front rowers generally. Next round of the URC is not until the end of March, kind of like late March. So Cardiff at that point will take on Glasgow, and Leinster will take on Zebre. Both of those teams will be away for that game. But good way to start my Sunday, even if the weather has kind of packed it in here in NZ. But you guys let us know your thoughts on the game. And talk to you guys again soon. See you later.